What's up, y'all? What's up? What is up, you guys? Happy Thursday. It is Friday, Junior, you guys. I wanted to come on and release this word that God gave me. Excuse me. I wanted to come on and release this word that God gave me on this morning. And so our topic for this morning, this broadcast, is apply what you learned. I'll say it again. Our declaration is apply what you learned. In this season, what God is saying is, don't let all of the lessons that you learned, all the skill sets that you acquired, don't let them go to waste. Hey, blessings to you, Natasha. Blessings to you, Visha. I'm going to say it again. God said in this season, apply what you learned from the old season. What did those moments of God rebuking you teach you? Yeah. What lessons did circumstances, trials, and tribulations bring out of you? Because in this season, God is saying, move forward and break the cycle. And what he was telling me, I had this revelation early this morning when I was walking, and I was talking to God about a situation, and I was kind of connecting the dots. And in that moment of me just talking to God, I literally talked to God my entire walk. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. But today was one of those days where I was getting to the root of like certain things. And as I was talking to God about it, it was showing me like, I already know how to handle this, God. Like, I don't know if y'all have had a moment where like you're dealing with something that is similar to something that you've already been through. And, and it's like in that moment of thinking about it, it shows you how you need to respond because you've had moments of responding the wrong way. And so as I was talking to God about this situation, I said, Lord, I already know how to respond to this. I don't have an issue responding the way that I need to respond to this. And so as I was telling God that, of course he was telling me job well done and stuff like that. But what he said was, he said, this is you applying what you learned from the old season so that you don't repeat the same thing over and over and over again in a brand new season. I'm going to say it again. As I was telling God that, he said, what this is you applying what you've learned, what you went through so many times on that little demonic merry-go-round in old seasons. What you're doing is applying what you learned so that you don't have to go through X, Y, and Z again. I don't know who needs to hear this, but today needs to be a day of like revelation and reflection for you. Like even in the confines of a new season, please understand that the devil is always going to tempt us to see, have we learned, right? Will we repeat certain cycles? Will we repeat certain patterns? Like for instance, if you know that God has been dealing with you about or in the past, God has dealt with you about being prideful, concerning certain things. If you know that like in the past, maybe it's been relational, maybe it's been with business, procrastination, laziness, whatever the case may be. God is saying you have, the authority to make this season be unlike any other season that you've ever been through. Give me a wonderful making sense. He said, tell them you have the power, right? To make sure, to ensure that this season is unlike any other season that you've been through. Meaning what God is saying is you have the opportunity to not revisit certain things, to not have to be rebuked over and over about certain things. You have the you have the power, you have the choice to choose whether or not this season is exactly that, a brand new season for you. God has been dealing with me a lot about like cycles, even on yesterday with everything that transpired, it was about a cycle. Will you put up with certain behavior or will you cut the cord? Blessings to you, Pastor Run. It was literally God saying, will you put up with certain behavior or will you cut the cord? So to the person that needs to hear this, apply what you learned from the old season. A lot of times we think that like because we're in a new season that the old rules or the old things that were the things that we learned in the old season that they don't apply. Sometimes it's an unconscious thing that we do. We just feel like, okay, I shifted, which means I'm not going to deal with X, Y, and Z ever again. But again, we have an adversary that's like a roaring lion seeking whom he can devour. What does that mean? That means that even in the confines of a blessed season, even in the confines of a harvest season, even in the confines of a season where God is ushering you into your promised land, the devil will still try old tactics to see, can I get you caught up with the things that I got you caught up with in the old season? So when it's all said and done, what God is saying is, make a different decision this season. I'll say it again. Make a different decision in this season. This season will be different if we make choices that show God not only have we grown, but if we make choices that show God that we're ready, that we're really ready to not go through the same things over and over and over again. And for people that are watching this revolves around any area of your life. Any area where you know that God has dealt with you over and over and over again in these areas, like make sure that in this season, you're applying what you learned so that there's a different outcome. Blessings to you, Miss Hill. I'm going to say it again. In this season, make sure that you're moving in a way that ensures a different outcome to this brand new season. And so that is the word that God gave me. Apply what you learned. What did God teach you about people in the old season? What did God teach you about fear in the old season? What did God teach you about, how you operate in the confines of relationships in the old season? What did he teach you about your triggers? What did he teach you about, being prideful and not wanting to ask people for help? What did God teach you? Because whatever it is that he taught you in the old season, God says move differently now. Because when you move differently, there will be a much different outcome that comes in this season. And so listen, that is the word. That is the word that God gave. Move differently. I'm telling y'all, I had a revelation this morning because I was walking and I was talking to God because I noticed like a pattern in this particular area of my life, which is dating. And, and I was talking to God about it. Nothing's going on, but I was talking to God about something that happened. And I said, Lord, that reminds me of X, Y, and Z. I ain't doing that. I'm not afraid to do something different. I already know how to respond. And God told me, he said, what this is you're applying what you learned. You're actually taking heed to what certain storms taught you, to what certain things, to what certain circumstances like brought out. You're taking heed and you're applying what you learned. And he literally told me, he said, because you're applying, you're gleaning from everything that you've been through in previous seasons. It is putting you in a position where you can receive a different outcome. And I think that is one of the things that we struggle with the most. It's just, it be out of sight, out of mind when we shift into another season. God, out of sight, out of mind. Okay, God, you were dealing with me in healing in the old season. You were dealing with me about trauma and, whatever it was. And you would think that because you're in another season, that means, just listen, let go of everything that situation taught you. No. Even for people, maybe it's financial. Maybe it is, with your work. Whatever the case may be, whatever you notice has popped up over and over and over again. God says, be wise in this season. Be wise. And it's like I'm at the point where I don't desire to repeat anything that I've already been through. I'm going to say that again. I don't desire to waste time going through another cycle because I didn't want to apply what I learned, or I have not yet learned the lesson. And so, that was just kind of where this revelation stemmed from. I don't have the time. I don't have the interest. I have zero interest in going through what I've already been through. Zero interest. Zero interest. Zero interest. I'm going to say it again. Zero interest. Zero interest. And you should too. So listen, that's it. To those of y'all that feel led to sow, you guys can sow. You can sow via PayPal or the Cash App. You let God lead you. The seed title is Move Differently. That is the seed title. You sow whatever God tells you to sow. At the moment, our update on from everything that has come in so far, we are like $591 away from our goal and that's just to pay rent. I'm over halfway there. But right now we are $591 away from getting that paid for in full. So everything that you guys sow is going towards that. And so that's it, y'all. That is it. I love y'all. I'm rooting for you. So until next time, y'all. Peace.